On this episode, we are talking about bringing joy to the everyday. We are sitting down with author and speaker Jessica Janzen, who's going to dive a little bit more into this topic. On the Courage Chronicles, let's get into it. Hi there, my name is Connor Curran, and I'm one of the co-owners of Local Laundry. Come join me on the Courage Chronicles, where we interview different people on their area of expertise and how they became successful and how you can learn from their success. Hello and welcome. My name is Connor Curran and welcome back to the Courage Chronicles. Today we have a very special guest, probably one of my favorite people in the whole city.
Woo!
Jessica Janzen. Thank you so much for joining us.
That's an intro. That's an intro. I was like, okay, now I got to live up to this.
Now it's on you.
It's on me.
Now it's on you. So
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us
Yeah.
today. So I'd like to start with, can you share your personal journey that led you to become a connoisseur in your field? Tell us a little bit about what you do.
I'm like, which field are we speaking of?
Pick a field.
Pick a field, any field. This is such a loaded question because it's like, where do you start and where do you want to land? Because I think, like many of us, my journey has been like a roller coaster of like these mountaintop moments, but also I think these deep valleys, and the deep valleys have been the defining moments for myself, our family, and in my business, our family's business, of like where we're going. And I think to say that I'm a connoisseur, if you go to one thing, what I'm known for in this city is joy. Like, I think it's like, how do we bring the joy to whatever hard thing that we're facing? So what's led me to that is I moved to this city almost 18 years ago.
Where are you from?
Manitoba.
Oh.
Yeah, my parents and my brother still farm there, but I moved off the farm, packed my car. My parents live on the Trans-Canada Highway.
Oh, wow.
And I literally drove like for 1,300 kilometers, and I was like, oh, I'm in Calgary, like here I am.
Why Calgary?
Young, single, and able. Like that is, I just remember being like, why? And it was like, logistically, you could still drive home, crush a Red Bull, get in the car, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know why you're pointing at me.
I don't drink that anymore, but I remember doing road trips being like, I'm sure I can get home by 2, and you're just like crushing Red Bulls.
And how long is the drive?
13 hours. I mean, I could still drive home, you can fly home, and it feels like it has this great big city feel, but yet a small town approach to it, which I absolutely loved. It didn't feel like you were getting swallowed up. I'd visited other cities in Canada, and I just was like, I don't know if I could call these home. But when I came to Calgary, I just had this peace, like this was where I was meant to be. So I've had a variety of different jobs here in the city, but ultimately the last 8 years, my husband and myself, we've been running a charity, and I've been speaking full time as a motivational speaker. And we use our platforms that we have on social media. You would call me or use the term influencer, and I like to say I use my platform to influence other people to do good and to be good, to become the best versions of themselves, and to access more joy. And I think a few moments that have like led me to be a connoisseur, if you're using that term, would be the death of our son. Unfortunately, he passed 8 years ago to a rare genetic disease. It would be the hard work that I've put into my marriage with my husband to not have our worlds crumble and fall apart as small business owners, as young people trying to freaking figure it out when we haven't had everything handed to us on a silver platter, and yet we have had so much handed to us on a silver platter. And I think just my experience of setting these massive goals, failing, and getting back up again. And I think that's what makes me relatable, and why people are listening to my message is they're like, it hasn't just come, it doesn't just like fall into my lap. We've had to roll up our sleeves and really work for it, and staying consistent in that fight to continue to grow.
Yeah, those 3 words I think is something that a lot of people get from you, right? Joy is the first one.
Yeah.
Hard work for sure.
Yeah.
But energy, you have this energy that just, people just want to be around you. They become joyous when they're around you. You know, like, I know it's cliche to say, but you literally walk in a room and the room lights up because people just want to be part of that energy, be part of that joy, and people can feel that. And I think it's important because it's not easy. We all go through our ups and downs and that kind of thing.
Everyone's ups and downs, I've learned, are different, and I've learned to never play the comparison game. I had a lady come up to me, we're getting ice cream on Monday night, and she's like, I lost a child, but it's totally different. And I was like, whoa. She's like, oh, it's not as bad as yours. It's like, no. We don't, like, hard is hard, and your hard will look different than my hard. Grief is grief, and so I think that's made me really relatable, and it's given me a heart of big compassion and empathy to walk alongside other people during tough stuff, and to help them come with the other side and say, like, keep living, keep going. Don't let this be the thing that keeps you in the hamster wheel or keeps you stuck.
And people need that.
Yeah, I need it.
I think it's really
Sometimes
important.
I'm like, listen to your own advice.
But it's hard, right? It's easier said than done. But I
Yeah.
think you are doing great work, and people definitely need it. So you mentioned goals. What's the big goal? Where do we want to go from here?
Oh man, it depends what day you're asking me. Right now we're working on a goal. I just turned 40, which is like that.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. It was like that defining. I mean, I know I look so young, so it's confusing for you.
It is.
Yeah. You're like,
can't
what?
comprehend.
Yeah. But I just turned 40, and the goal for my 40th birthday was to raise $40,000, and so we're sitting at about $8,000. I told the Calgary Herald we were at 9, and I'm like, I should have gone and like actually looked, like dialed in on the numbers. So the goal is to raise $40,000. That's a big goal. That's for our charity foundation, Love for Lewiston. And then for me personally, this year I had a goal to crush 50 keynotes, and I really wanted to get signed by a publisher for my second book. And all of the goals feel very far from it, but I know that I won't quit on them just because they won't happen necessarily in the timeline that I want them to happen.
Right.
And often sometimes there's a twist or a turn or a pivot in the story that is actually exactly how it's meant to be. So I'm trusting the process, but continuing to show up with joy and belief that they're possible.
Very good. And how many keynotes has it been?
I'm at 16, and I think I have another 20 booked for the fall, but
Oh, smokes.
I feel like summer was crickets, which is as it should be. I love spending time with my kids. I have a very full schedule, so it was a great change of pace, but I'm looking forward to a full fall.
And what do you talk about in your keynotes?
Joy, resiliency, overcoming the hard things. We're in a world that is like fast-paced, constantly moving, uncertainty. I feel like we all thought after the pandy was done, like it would just return back to normal. And I'm like, normal is reserved for a setting on a washing machine. It is not the new state. And I think as we are navigating like an economy, a new work from home, corporate culture, it's all changed. And I think everyone's trying to find their footing and feeling a little lost, a little uncertain. So how do you continue to be the best version of yourself in uncertainty when you're facing adversity? And do it with joy.
Any quick tips or advice?
Yeah.
You have a whole keynote. But
I have a whole I mean, you're gonna have to hire me if you know. I'm just kidding. The 5 simple things that I would tell people is, this is one of the things that I talk about a lot. It's 4 simple steps if you are in a hard spot. Radical acceptance. So like we spend so much time sitting on why and like trying to almost like be in denial that it's happening. And the first step to move out of any tough thing is radical acceptance. 2 is knowing that you have a choice. And it's literally saying to yourself, I have a choice in this. I wouldn't choose the circumstances, but I get a choice in my response. The 3rd thing is like, okay, I have a choice and I need to show up with relentless belief. For myself, some of these goals are like relentless belief that it's gonna happen even when it feels impossible or even when it doesn't happen in the time frame. And then this piece of consistency. You wanna know why people succeed in business and don't succeed in business. You wanna know why people continue on even when it's really, really difficult. It's because they stay consistent.
Yeah.
Like they don't quit. I just was listening to the story of how Enterprise Rent-A-Car came to be and how Warren Buffett was trying to buy it and like where he started. And he didn't just like all of a sudden start this bajillion-dollar company.
Yeah.
It was like he stayed in the game and he just kept showing up. And so I'm just like really fascinated by that. And I know in my life when I've applied that to any area with budgeting, with finances, with my business, with my health goals, consistency is the key. It's just staying the course and it's not asking you to be perfect. So facing hard things, you do those 4 things, radical acceptance, knowing you have a choice, relentless belief, and consistency, it changes the game.
Fantastic, yeah. One of my favorite sayings is, you just got to stay in the game long enough to get lucky. Right? It's just about being in the game. We're in the game.
Yeah. Oh, isn't that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can things be bad when we're in the game?
Yeah.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
So, Jessica, where can people find you if they want to learn more about you, follow along?
So hey, I'm Jess. If you want to come and connect with me, LinkedIn, social media, Instagram is my favorite platform, or just check out my website, jessicajanzen.ca, and Janzen with a Z. So would love to connect, and if you have more questions, need help, need some encouragement or a boost of joy, I'm your person.
Stay tuned for the next episode where we chat with Jessica about some of the unique aspects of Calgary that shape her life and her work. We'll see you soon. Thanks so much for watching the Courage Chronicles. If you want to find out more information, click that big old link down below or check out YYC Calgary Business. Or you can even check out our clothing company, locallaundry.ca. Thanks so much. Hope you have a great day. Bye for now.